Hi, I, 30F, am pregnant and due in April. My husband, 35M, and I have a baby shower planned next month to celebrate with friends and relatives. This event is very important and meaningful to me as I have not publicly shared the news with my friends and family on any social platform, i.e. Instagram, FB, the usual. My husband is super excited to invite all his friends from work and other social circles to the baby shower, most of whom I generally like and get along with except for one. Let's call her Sharon. Sharon is my husband's former coworker. She is also pregnant, a few months after me. I never saw Sharon as a real problem up until last week, where my husband and I attended another good friend's baby shower, where Sharon was also invited. Prior to attending the event, my husband told me to make sure to wear a jacket and keep my baby bump as discreet as possible, so that I don't steal the spotlight from my friend, which I completely agree and respect. I was shocked when Sharon showed up wearing the tightest maternity bodycon dress one could ever imagine. Her baby bump was extremely prominent and shown in such a way where it essentially forces the conversation on her pregnancy. This was almost everyone's first time seeing her baby bump. Some people didn't even know she was pregnant. It was incredibly uncomfortable for me as I watched the energy shift from my friend to Sharon. People were more interested in Sharon's baby, asking the usual 20 questions people are keen to ask when they find out someone is expecting. And the worst part is, Sharon seemed to bask in the spotlight and gleefully answered everyone's questions. After witnessing that debacle, I no longer wanted Sharon at my baby shower. Her selfish behavior and attitude made it clear to me that she would try and pull the same exact she at my baby shower. My husband tells me that not inviting her to my baby shower will cause unnecessary drama, since she is friends with the people who are attending. He also told me that we won't be invited to Sharon's baby shower and that it will start even more drama, etc. I do care about my husband and the connection he has to his friends, but at the same time, I am hurt that he is not taking my side and understanding why I feel so strongly about this. It just infuriates me that he won't even acknowledge that what Sharon did is wrong and in poor taste. In fact, he is making me feel like I am being overly sensitive and that I am overthinking everything. I have no one to turn to and I feel that the only course of action for me is to take this girl off the invite list. I am too stressed to think about the consequences this may have on the social group, nor do I have the bandwidth to truly sympathize. I just want to be selfish and think about my baby. Comment 1, NTA. She's shown you she's an attention seeker, believe her. This is worth laying out to DH directly, especially since he went to such lengths to censor your wardrobe for the first shower. He didn't want you to look like an asshole. But he's totally okay with Sharon making you look like an asshole at your own party? Something smells a bit like a used diaper genie here, and it's coming from your husband's favoritism of another woman. His work friends' assumed perceptions should never be more important than your security, especially around something like a joint baby shower for your first kid. Comment 2. This is what I can't get past. He suggested you wear a jacket to cover your bump, and then he sees no issues with what Sharon did at the shower. That's weird. He's focused way too much on other people's feelings than yours. Maybe it's time to scale your shower back to just your closest family and friends. NTA, but Sharon and your husband are. Comment 3. ESH. Telling people how to dress to make sure no one talks to them about their baby is crazy. She may be an attention seeker and those people are annoying, but dressed in a way that forces the conversation on her pregnancy? Why could no one pay attention to anyone other than Sharon? Just because she was pregnant? Friend groups often have multiple pregnancies at the same time. Fighting for attention and telling people they have to hide it to come to your party is messed up. My mom got married to Alan 2 years ago. I, 15F, was 13 at the time and Alan's 2 kids were Emma, 9F, and Noah, 3M. Noah was diagnosed with cancer last year and my mom and her husband were told there's some kind of different treatment he could get in another country, and if they could raise the money, it would be better for Noah than the treatments available in the US. My mom and Alan could not afford it, so they have been sending him to treatment here and saving for Noah's treatment. They made a lot of cutbacks and asked that Emma and I give over any money we get so they can afford this. They have about 70% or something now, and that has come from cutting out a lot. We eat very basic meals, they cancelled our internet, and we didn't do anything for our birthdays or Christmas since the saving started. Any money that comes into the house goes on essentials or the treatment fund. My dad died 9 years ago and my paternal family stayed part of my life. They know what has been going on and they have been buying me little treats and taking me out to eat when they can. They also give me money every couple of weeks so I can have something if I ever need anything. I have been hiding that money because I know I would be told to give it up. I carry it everywhere because Emma is the type to snoop and then tell her dad. She has asked me before why I don't babysit to help make more money for her brother. She would work if she could, but she's only 11. I spent some of the money from my grandparents over the weekend. I got my hair cut and I bought my best friend a gift for her birthday. I also got some food and spent some time at my dad's grave. My mom noticed my haircut and asked where the money came from, and she realized I was lying when I said I had been with my grandparents and they took me because I forgot they were out of town. So I told her they gave me some money to get some stuff done. She told me a haircut was not a need and how selfish could I be. Alan heard her scolding me and he jumped in and asked what the hell was wrong with me. He told me this family has to pull together for Noah and I am acting like I don't care whether Noah gets this treatment or not. Of course, by the end of the day Emma heard and freaked out. But then my mom ran into my best friend's mom a couple of days ago, and she told mom my gift to my best friend was so sweet and thoughtful. I was sat down and yelled at for spending the money on not just me but on others. Alan asked me how I could give the money for a gift that means nothing when it could have gone to save my brother's life. I yelled back that it's not my job to pay for Noah's treatments and I'm already sacrificing, but I refuse to go all out the way they want me to. I told them the money came from my family who was nothing to them, and they need to let it go. Alan called me a selfish little bitch and he told me I should be ashamed of my repulsive behavior. Now Emma keeps telling me I'm a bad person. Comment 1. NTA, this is not your responsibility. You haven't even been in Noah's life very long. I would definitely check with your grandparents and see if you could live with them. If your stepfather is calling you a selfish little bitch for getting a haircut, then you should leave if you can. That's not okay. You're 15. OP comment. I haven't, and that's something I wouldn't say out loud because it would make life even more hell on earth. I have known Alan, Noah and Emma for a little over 2.5 years. I know they think I'm some horrible monster for not being more determined like Emma is. But Noah is her brother. He's my stepbrother and not a stepbrother I consider just a brother. I don't consider Emma just a sister either, or Alan my dad, or even my parent really. I'm not protesting all the changes made to our lifestyle, but I will take my grandparents up on making sure I still get nice food sometimes and get my hair cut and other things of that nature. Emma would give it all for her brother and I get that. I'm going to try and leave if I can do so easily. Going to talk to my grandparents tomorrow and see what happens from there. Comment 2. NTA. The money from your grandparents was for you to spend on yourself. They know that your family has little money now and cannot treat you to anything. I can understand your mother's and stepfather's reaction though, as they are desperate to save the money. I would discuss the matter with your grandparents. If this is a recurring issue, they would have to discuss it with your mother. You are in a rather weak position here. 3 months ago, I, 28F, gave birth to my angel baby, whom I was going to name Siobhan. My husband Dylan 30M and I are still grieving her loss. We lost her due to preterm premature rupture of membranes, and there was nothing the doctors could do to save her. My mother is Irish and I was going to name my baby after my great auntie. We were so happy, and now we are devastated. My family rallied around us and so did Dylan's parents, but his sister was a different story. She has been helping Dylan, but has told me I need to get over it being in reference to our daughter. My husband's sister Claire 34F just announced her pregnancy at 20 weeks and had her gender reveal on Instagram. I'm happy for her, but sad at the same time because I never got to meet my daughter. She announced she was going to have a baby shower and sent out invitations last week. When we received the invitation, it said, "Help us welcome our baby, Siobhan." I can admit I cried looking at the invitation. Claire and my husband's family have no connection to Ireland or the name Siobhan, and when my husband asked her why she chose the name, Claire said it sounded pretty and because we weren't able to use it she was going to take it first, and to clarify, no, she is not naming her baby after my daughter. As much as I want to feel happy for Claire, I just can't. It feels like she's rubbing the fact that my baby is dead in my face. And I RSVP'd no to the invite. She called me on my private number and chewed me out for being a sour witch, not being happy for her, and being jealous over nothing. I feel like I should be happy for her, but I just can't. I just want my baby girl, my Siobhan. Comment 1. I am so sorry for your loss. Something what you write stands out to me. She picked it first because you didn't get to use it. But you did. You have. You are mother to a baby and that baby girl is called Siobhan. Tragically, Siobhan died. That is heartbreaking, and again I am so sorry for your loss. But you are a mother. Mother to Siobhan. Siobhan is your daughter. You were not going to name her, you did. Your Sil is incredibly cruel. I have no words. But please don't feel like your Siobhan hasn't got a name. She has. And you are her mother. I am so sorry you can't hold her or hug her, but I do hope in the future you can write, "I have a daughter who tragically died. Her name is Siobhan." Comment 2. As someone who lost their baby due to early labor, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate this comment. I struggled so much with whether or not I was allowed to call myself a mother at first. Even 9.5 years later, if I did have another daughter, I would never name her Annabelle because I do already have a child with that name. Just because our babies aren't still with us doesn't mean they're nameless. Comment 3. NTA. I am horrified. Your sister-in-law is a cruel for telling you to get over it and downright nasty for proceeding to name her child after the one you lost. Are your husband's parents condoning this and her treatment of you? I am not usually one to recommend going no contact with your in-laws, but I think this situation more than merits it. I am so sorry for your loss. Your baby is and always will be Siobhan. It's a beautiful name for an angel. Last month I, 17M, learned that my mom named me after one of my stillborn cousins. My aunt, my mom's sister, had 4 stillborn children and her only son is the one I was named for. My aunt never got to bring a child home. I feel like I always knew she lost kids. But I never knew her son and I shared a name. It's not a common name either. I never met another person with my name, and while I always loved having a unique name, learning the origin of it makes me so uncomfortable. As long as I can remember, my aunt has hated my mom and never wanted to be near her. I never got it. My aunt was always nice to me, but I could feel how awkward she was around me. I could never figure out why. It was weird because my whole family gave me a nickname and always called me that. The nickname was unrelated to my name and everybody used it for me. That wasn't so weird, but I guess I did used to wonder because I remember when they hosted a party last year to celebrate me getting an award for my art, they used my nickname, which is more of a pet name, on the cake, the banner and stuff. It didn't have my first name on it at all. I was talking to my cousin before Christmas. She's my uncle's kid and I asked her why everyone calls me by the nickname and never by my name, and she told me it was hard for them to use the name and not think of my cousin. I asked her what she meant and she told me it was a whole drama and Mom almost lost her whole family over it. Nobody thought it was kind and our aunt was so pissed at Mom. Apparently Mom even told Dad that was my name and he got no real say. It made me feel so uncomfortable because every time they hear my name, they think of him and he never got a chance to live and grow. I know naming people after dead family members is a thing and that's fine. But an infant who was stillborn? It feels so gross to have the name. I confronted my parents and mom told me it was no big deal and I shouldn't feel ashamed, that my aunt is the one who should be ashamed. I asked mom how she could be so insensitive to her sister. She didn't get over that, and a week ago it all kind of bubbled over and she told me I have no right to be mad. I started yelling that she cursed me with a name that makes everyone think of a tragedy. I told her the name is more associated with him than me, and that makes sense because they lost him way too soon and will also make them think of his sisters who didn't live either. My mom said I had no right to yell at her and I am just as bad as the rest of the family when they all treated her like shit for how she chose to name me. Comment 1. NTA, and thank you for sharing. We see a lot of posts on here from the person in your mom's role or aunt's role about this exact issue. I've never seen the child's take on it before. This sounds like a very alienating and confusing situation, and hopefully people who are debating baby names will read this and see what it's like for the person carrying that name. Sorry you're in this position. OP comment. I hope so. At least think about it if you don't have the blessing of those who lost the baby. Because it is awkward to have this stuff going on in the background your whole life and not understanding why, and it feels so weird when you do learn the truth. Like, I think back on all the years with my family and how my name was such a sore point for so many of them. Comment 2. NTA, your mom is TA. She had no consideration of her own sister. I'm glad to see your aunt didn't take it out on you, but she and the family has every right to be angry with your mom.